Welcome and thanks for tuning in. Christina here today, and we're going to talk about going back to work after having a baby. This can be a really tough thing for moms to do. Some emotions that might come up when you're ready to head back to work are definitely guilt. Some moms feel guilty because they're leaving their baby in the care of another. And some moms feel guilty because they're actually really excited to get back to work and they feel like maybe they shouldn't be. Well, it might help just to remind yourself that the separation between you and baby is really good for both of you. It's going to be really good for you to get out of the house, spend some time with adults, kind of get back into a new routine, and it's going to be great for your baby to start socializing with some other people. So that is going to hopefully help relieve some of that guilt that you might be feeling. Remind yourself that it is going to be different because that can be kind of a shock to some moms when they go back to work. It's not going to be the same as it was before, but it's going to be good too because you're going to be able to multitask, for instance, a lot better than maybe you used to. Your empathy will be a lot higher since having a baby. So some of those things are actually going to be really good changes. Maybe one of the things you're worried about is logistically, how the heck is this going to work? So routine is going to be a huge asset to you right now. Having a new routine in the morning is going to be essential. And this is something that you're going to want to discuss with your partner because likely your partner has already gone back to work and they already have a routine for getting out the door in the morning. But their routine as well as your routine is going to have to be different now to get all three of you, or depending on if you have other kids, out the door in the morning. This is a routine that you're going to want to discuss with your partner ahead of time. Do a couple of dry runs. That's going to be essential to kind of getting it in place and figure it out. If you can start your childcare a little bit early, that might be a good way to really practice your routine without too much pressure. It might help to get some things ready the night before. You know, pack your diaper bag, get your purse ready. If you pack a lunch, getting that ready the night before, even getting breakfast ready the night before. These are things that's going to help make that routine a lot smoother in the morning. Likely you're going to be getting up a little bit earlier for this new routine, so going to bed earlier is probably going to help too. You're going to need that extra sleep anyway, because this is going to be a lot more energy that you're going to be expending now that you're going back to work. So bear that in mind too. You'll probably be very glad you got a little extra sleep if you can set that up. Finding your balance, that's going to be another huge thing about going back to work. You know, the laundry, the dishes, those might not necessarily get done immediately. And just be easy on yourself. Be gentle. You know, that's okay. If those things just fall behind for a week or two, it's okay. Once you figure out kind of how this thing all works together, those things will fall into place too. But you might need to ask for a little extra help, you know, from your partner, family, that kind of thing, just to stay on top of those things while you figure it all out. Some other things that might make the transition a little bit easier is talk to your boss about maybe easing into work. Instead of starting full-time on a Monday, maybe you can start part-time on a Monday, or maybe you can start on a Wednesday or Thursday, just to kind of slowly get back into the rhythm of things. It might also help to set up a meeting with your boss ahead of time to just discuss how things will work. You know, you're probably not going to be able to stay late like you used to. You know, you got to pick up your kid from daycare. You got to get home to make dinner. These are new things, and you want to make sure that you and your boss, our coworkers, etc., are all on the same page in terms of new expectations for you and your new routine here. It is okay to start saying no. Babies are a fantastic excuse for saying no. No, I can't work on the weekend. No, I can't stay late. I'm sorry, I have a baby. These are okay things to do now, and you're going to really be grateful that you have done them. So lastly, if you're still breastfeeding when you go back to work and you want to continue to do so, that's fantastic. You're going to also need to talk to your boss about how that logistically is going to work because you'll want to be pumping at work. If you have time about a month before you go back, you want to start pumping again if you aren't already, to build up a little bit of a freezer stash, just, you know, to have a little bit of a cushion in case you need it. If it's too late for that, if you haven't done that, that's okay. You can still make this work. A lot of moms just pump on one day for the milk for the next day. So they'll pump Monday for Tuesday, they'll pump Tuesday for Wednesday, etc. And then they pump Friday for Monday. And that's totally fine. It is nice to have some in the freezer as a backup, but a lot of moms make it work just day to day, and that's totally okay. Maybe you're even lucky enough that your childcare is really close to your work and you can just pop over during lunch to do a breastfeeding. That's awesome, an awesome option if you can do that. You'll still need to pump a little bit because obviously they'll need more than one feeding if they're at daycare all day. Although some babies also just adjust. Maybe they don't like taking bottles and they just don't eat at all at daycare and they kind of cluster feed in the morning and the evening. If that's what works for your baby, that's great too. Babies will find their own rhythm, and so will you. And it takes a little while, but you'll get there, and that's okay. Lastly, if this is just not working out for you, this going back to work thing, it does take a little while to get into, but some moms realize after a couple months that they're just not settled in yet, and it's just not working out. So some other options here are talk again to your boss, your coworkers, to see if maybe you can go down to part-time. Maybe you can work from home 1 or 2 days a week, just to kind of get some more time with your baby that you're really missing. See if that's an option for you. Maybe that'll be a good balance. If it's like really, really not working out, maybe find a new job, find a new way to make this work, because your time with your baby is also very, very important. And making that work is essential to having a happy life. Of course, a lot of workplaces have policies about paid maternity leave and returning to work afterwards for a certain amount of time. So make sure you know those rules first before you make these big decisions. And before you go and talk to your boss about anything like this, make sure you have a really solid plan about either easing out of work or how to really get your work done if you're going to be doing part-time or working from home. All right, so hopefully these are some things that you can take and use to help make that transition a little bit easier, because it can be very stressful. Take a deep breath and take it one day at a time and be gentle with yourself. So on to the trivia for today. All right, folate, also known as folic acid or B9, is an important part of a prenatal diet. Which of the following is not a good source of folate? Is it A, pork, B, spinach, C, mangoes, or D, yeast? Feel free to comment below, and if you answer correctly to the question, the first person is going to get a gift card to a fast casual restaurant or a mystery gift from Bellies to Babies. Also, feel free to comment on other suggestions you might have to other moms that have made going back to work easier, or if you are going back to work, other things you might be concerned about. This is a great discussion to get started right now. And do subscribe to catch future episodes. Thanks for tuning in.